my first concern when I heard that we did strike those facilities in Iran is, what does the LA Sheriff's Department think? The LA Sheriff's Department took a lot of heat on the internet for Xing out this. They said, our hearts go out to the victims and families impacted by the recent bombings in Iran. And then, as it's reported, calls these strikes on nuclear facilities tragic. Your thoughts on the LA County Sheriff's Department, of all places, weighing in here on Middle East foreign policy?
Yeah, the LA Sheriff's, their department shouldn't be concerned about victims of any sort anywhere but in LA. We just saw all this chaos unfold in LA. And even just weeks ago with these No Kings protests, totally out of control, citizens of LA just attacking ICE officers and agents, attacking police officers, and they're completely out of control. And the LA Sheriff's Department was supposed to be in control of that situation. Imagine if they had their priorities straight. Maybe they could focus on people that they're actually supposed to be caring about.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a novel idea? Kevin, that post was originally edited and then ultimately was deleted, but they did say they are closely monitoring the situation overseas, to which I say, thank God. Thank God a local municipal sheriff's department is monitoring something going on halfway around the world, because they can clearly have a lot to do with it. I don't know, what does this kind of say about the mindset of libs who are so hell-bent on inserting themselves into anything going on around the world, whether or not it makes sense?
Well, I think this is just an applicable mindset across the board for pretty much any liberal stance that you could possibly take. You constantly see white liberals getting mad on behalf of other races. You see all these people get mad for somebody else that has nothing to do when they don't have their own ducks in a row. Just as Haley had said, amazingly, by the way, is that you should have everything in your area figured out before you start commenting on what is going on across the world. Not only is this out of their jurisdiction, I can't trust the LA Sheriff's Department to do pretty much anything. If there's anywhere in the world that would be saying death to America as much as Iran, I'm willing to bet it's probably the populace of LA. So sure, monitor it closely, but how much are you really going to help?
Yeah, it's like, look at what's going on in your own backyard. It's like, oh, babe, our lawn is dying. Okay, but the house is on fire. Maybe we should prioritize that. The lawn dying is not a great thing, but we'll take care of that when the time comes and the priority. Speaking of this whole idea of, or the whole issue in the Middle East, Mahmood Khalil, Haley, was released according to everybody, but because of a federal judge demanded the Trump administration release him. Now, Mahmood Khalil was the lead negotiator in all of the Columbia riots that happened last year, the encampments where they took over parts of the campus. That guy was negotiating on behalf of the people that were camping in the quads. And Haley, too, the president, who is, of course, a tyrant, for some reason still listens to federal judges. I'm not sure how much of a tyrannical rule that is, but your thoughts of this, in my opinion, clear Hamas sympathizer being back out on the streets and no longer facing a threat of deportation?
Yeah, well, of course, Mahmood Khalil is back out on the streets. You know, he is advocating for a terrorist organization, Hamas, who screams death to America over and over again. And what activist judges in this country have done is send a message to people like Mahmood Khalil and other people who hate America, is that you can chant this stuff, you can work on behalf of a criminal terrorist organization, and you will be protected. If you are an immigrant or an illegal immigrant in this country and you hate America, you are protected.
Yeah, which is, again, not exactly the priority that I would like. You're seeing B-roll also of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland father, who is also a wife beater and probably trafficking humans. Kevin, I guess, I don't know, the libs now got their two most popular people. I don't know if that does them any damage politically. Actually, watch this video of Mahmood Khalil just hours after being released from prison. Check this out, and I want to get your reaction.
Palestine will live forever! Palestine will live forever! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free!
All right, that's enough of that. So yeah, the whole chanting. We all know what that means, and don't need to relitigate that. And also, sorry, Kevin, I think I might have buried the lead. The libs are saying, well, he's a permanent resident. Well, that just means he has a green card. I don't know. Why are they manipulating the language there to make it sound worse than it actually is, if in fact they tie him to a terrorist organization and get him out of the country?
Well, I love that you bring up the language with it because as you know, my show is called Speechless. It was named after Michael Knowles's book, probably in my opinion, the most influential book I've ever read for my political beliefs and understanding how the left operates. And they change the language that it's not technically wrong. It's not technically wrong that under his green card he could be considered a permanent resident, but it drastically dilutes and if anything even changes the meaning and public perception of what is actually going on here. And it's a lot easier to say that than to say somebody who has overstayed their visa or somebody who is a blanket agitator or somebody who's currently violating the law that is somehow, because they're an agitator, getting away from the deportation that really should be imminent for anybody else if it wasn't a terrorist. That we're not even negotiating with the terrorist here. We're letting them walk all over us.
Yeah, just to clean that up too, so viewers know what we're talking about. A green card, you don't have to continue to reapply for visas over and over and over again. So I guess in a way it's some sort of permanence, but it's not permanent in the fact that, okay, you're a US citizen and you can't be deported. You still can be deported if you have a green card. It might be a little bit more difficult, but that's still definitely an option.